Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heart Led, Soul Fed. This is Christine. I am a soul purpose mentor and medium, and of course, perfect child of God. Aren't we all? And this is just a bonus episode. I was away last week. Um, Living a bucket list, living a dream that took 2 years to come true. Um, I was at Machu Picchu, and I decided to do a classic Inca Trail trek to Machu Picchu, 4 days. Um, I'd say about 25 kilometers a day. That's around 26,000 steps a day. Pretty much 100,000 steps plus. And you're in the jungle, so it's humid. It's also hot. There's mosquitoes. But for some reason, the mosquitoes normally attack me. But there, for some reason, everybody else was getting bit. So I don't know what was going on there. I just was blown away at how they built the trail, you know, thousands, millennia ago. These huge stones, steep steps up, and people, were so gracious. If I think it was the first day we got to the top of one of the mountains by car, of course, and we had to. There was a detour because there was a mudslide, so we had to wait a little bit for that. But we took mountain bikes downhill, so for about 15 kilometers, but it started to mist and rain, and I thought, oh my goodness. So we were soaked, even with ponchos and all the gear, didn't matter. But it was an experience I'll never forget. And just meeting people along the way, and their homes are up in the mountains, and they have, restaurants, and I got to see how coffee was dried and roasted out in the sun, real um, highly technical methods. And real appreciation for my cup of coffee now, watching her grind it up. And coffee bean plants everywhere up the mountain. I mean, it was a food forest. Bananas, golden berries, mangoes, avocados, you name it. It was just amazing. The amount of food that can be grown in Peru. There's no excuse that anybody goes hungry here. Um, because it's everywhere. It just plants itself. I mean, that's what animals are for as well. So, yeah, there were some points climbing. I had to stop. I took my time. I thought I could keep up with the group of four girls from England that were all 19 years old, all out of high school, decided to take a gap year before they went to college. And I'm like, good on you. And they also worked and saved their money to do this trip, and they've been traveling for 4 months, and they've already been to Argentina and Brazil, and they were on their way to Colombia, and I was just so inspired, and they were inspired by me. It was interesting. I felt like the mom of the group. Anyways, our guide Percy, he kept making jokes about that, and he felt like he was the dad. But anyways, it was it was fun. We got to this top of the one mountain and another mountain. I mean, there were so many mountains in Peru. Where do I begin to name them all? But he wanted to do a coca ceremony with the coca leaves. Now, the coca leaves are very sacred. The shamans use them for ceremony, and it's always in three. You think the mother, the father, and the child, right? The mind, body, spirit. The puma, the snake, the condor. that's everything is sacred. So he wanted all of us to do that, to hold the three leaves, breathe, blow on them 3 times and ask for permission. Thank you for allowing us safe passage through to Machu Picchu. Thank you for allowing us to be on this mountains, to be part of this land. I mean, it's really a matter of respect, something we need to relearn. Um, we tend to just rely on instant gratification and taking things for granted, and being entitled, and not respecting, our ancestors, lay of the land and all of that. We learn from their mistakes. We learn from their triumphs. We learn from it all. But that's our past, and it's something we can reflect on, but it's not something that we are necessarily tied to in a sense. So it's all fascinating. The Pachamama um, is all about the reconnection to our divine feminine and in relation to God and love. That's all it is. That's what it comes down to. And while I was up there, I felt the energy. I mean, you cannot imagine the energy up there. Um, I had to ground myself many times. And yeah, it's a mountain, but just think of everyone that's passed through there. At some point, I felt dizzy, just maybe for 10 seconds. It was like a wave of energy moving through me, and I was very aware of it. Um, and I respected it. Just like when I flew in, I was told that, altitude sickness is a thing. So I made sure that I climatized. I took heed. I didn't go, oh, yeah, whatever, you know, um, like we tend to do, like the ego's like, oh, yeah, we got this. And then you get taken down. Um, so that was amazing. Another part, we stopped for lunch. Beautiful open space by this river. I don't remember the name of the river, but this river feeds the Amazon River. Okay, no one knows that the river in Peru is the one that feeds the Amazon River. And the Peru has Amazon jungle. It's not just in Brazil or in the Amazon. It's all over. Um, it's so many amazing facts, but I walked into this for lunch, and by the way, their soups, their food is amazing, natural, of course, and healthy. Um, I sat down, and this little gray kitten came around the corner, and I'm like, oh my God, that's my Chloe. Now my Chloe, my gray kitty with the green eyes, she passed a year and a half ago. So when I saw her, I'm like, that's Chloe 2.0. And she came running over to me, and she sat on my lap, purring, and she spent 20 minutes. And it was the most amazing feeling. Um, I felt like, my mom was there, of course, and all my animals and all of my ancestors, everyone was there. I felt so comforted. I felt so safe. I felt so many things. So the first stop was in St. Teresa, and then the second day we ended up in, oh no, that was Santa Maria, sorry. Oh my goodness, St. Maria. And then the second day was Santa Teresa, which I thought was very interesting because that was my mom. My mom's name is Teresa. But I brought my mom's ashes with me as well. And the container that I had my mom's ashes in, my son gave to me. So, I had everyone with me in a sense. So, yeah, that was amazing. So quiet, all the different birds, the parrots. I mean, the parrots are just incredible. The colors and all of that. But, whew, third day. Yeah, we ended up in at the hot springs. Got to take a cable car across a river. Now, this cable car is hand powered, like with people. Um, oh my goodness. Yeah, that was thrilling. I did not do the zip lining, which the zip line was the largest in South America, across this wide gorge. It was just wow. Um, I wanted to preserve my energy because I knew, I'm almost 50 and I'm not 20 anymore and I have to respect my body where it's at. And same, I didn't do the whitewater rafting because I've done both. I've done both. I've done that. I wanted to enjoy, so I relaxed in the hammock and watched the girls go. And I found a beautiful quartz crystal along one of the roads. Just these random things that happened. Met some beautiful people and animals and a hundredpede, not a millipede or a centipede, but a hundredpede. It was a black um, with red legs. What a critter! And lizards and frogs and so many amazing things. But we kept joking. I met a couple from New York, and they're like, "Don't fall, don't fall." Well, gosh, but I got to the hot springs on day 3, and I didn't quite lift my leg high enough over a barrier, and down I went. Caught myself with my hands and my arms, didn't get any cuts or anything. All I got was on my chin because my chin kind of went whack on the ground. Wow, I was so embarrassed more than anything. And I was tired and I was crying. It had been an exhausting day. Um, that was the end of day 3. And we were waiting for the girls. They opted not to walk all the way. They took the car to the hot springs. So they saved themselves, what was it, 3 hours of walking. So I'm like, okay, I'm having cerveza beer. Um, Peru has probably one of the best beers. Funny fact, it's owned by Bush Beer, but the bottle and everything is the Inca stones. Casquena. It's an amazing beer. But anyway, so I sat and had that and waited and waited and waited. Finally got into the hot springs because they were delayed because there was a rock slide. These things happen, a lot when you live in the mountains. Um, so day 4, we had to walk up 2,000 steps. We had to get up at 4 in the morning. Um, and the buses and the buses that kept coming, and we made it to the entrance of Machu Picchu. Those steps were killer, by the way. My legs were burning. I had blisters on my feet. I wasn't as sore as I thought I would be, but I did absolutely nothing yesterday. I just took care of myself. So that's a reminder. Listen to your body. Yeah, so, and I was told by the local guides that before COVID, there would be, I think they said 9,000 people a day. Can you imagine 9,000 people? That's too crowded. I don't like crowds to begin with. Now it's reduced to like 1,000. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. So there are blessings that came out of COVID, by the way, many, many blessings. There were many tragedies and grief as well, but this is a blessing. Took my pictures. I was able to do a couple lives for my friends and family. They were just in awe. It was pretty much a clear day because the day before we walked in rain, pouring rain for half the day. And when it rains in the jungle, it rains. Got to spread my mom's ashes. And I know in a past life she was a maiden on Machu Picchu, and so was I. Very interesting. Very surreal. Just to be there. It was so quick. To get there took forever, but you were only allowed 3 hours. You're only allowed 3 hours. So when your entrance time is from 7 to 10, that's it. That's all the time you get. And one way in and one way out. So you really got to soak it up. And actually, there were extensions to Machu Picchu. There were other mountains that you could climb up that would have taken another 2 hours that were part of it. But I said no. In fact, I bought a ticket for a bus on the way down because they're like, you can walk down. It's an hour, but it's actually more difficult walking down. It's harder on the legs. After all that hiking you do, going down is much more difficult. So I said, nope, I'm taking the bus. Took the bus down to Aguas Calientes, which is, they have hot springs there. Unfortunately, I wish I would have had more time to explore the town. It's so beautiful. There's a roaring river through it. It's just amazing. You need to Google it. But I took a train back to Ollantaytambo, and then Ollantaytambo bus back to Cusco. But the train was magical because I haven't been on a train since I was a kid. My sister and I would take the train, like via rail back in the day when it wasn't privatized and expensive. My mom would put us on the train. We were 10, 8 and 10, 10 and 12, go to see grandma in Vancouver. It was magical. We had like our own little rail car to ourselves, and we ran around and we bought candy and we counted our money, and we'd wake up and see the sun rise over the lakes, and it was just, anyways, same type of experience. All I have to say is don't be afraid to go for it. Whatever you're wanting to do, do it. Live like you're dying. Go for the big dreams. Go for the big guns. If you're feeling bored, that's a sign that you need to do what you really want to do, okay? And maybe you don't have the money and the finances, whatever situation you happen to be in. Start dreaming now. Start dreaming it into existence. You may not know how. That's not your job to know how. That's God's. That's spirit. That is source. Just ask and become in complete alignment and complete frequency. You live, you breathe, and that's all you think about, and that's all you know, and you know it's going to happen. You might not know the timing, but it's going to happen. So when are you going to align with what will absolutely take your breath away? All right. I just wanted to share this, I guess, impromptu podcast episode. And I'm going to be doing more traveling. I'm going around South America. So you tell me where you want, that you've always wanted to go. Share with me. I'd love to hear from you. I know you're out there. Anyways, I wish you an amazing day, night, week, month, year, wherever you are in the world. I'm sending you lots of love, and take care.